You know what really reveals a person's age far more than a passport or visible wrinkles? It's not gray hair or a shuffling walk, it's dryness. And I'm not talking about dry skin on your hands that you can fix with lotion. I mean internal, systemic dryness. When I review lab results from patients over 50, the pattern is almost always the same. Their blood has become thicker, the fluid between cells turns viscous, and their joints feel like rusted hinges that have run out of lubricant. The scariest part? The root cause usually isn't genetics. It's sitting right there on their kitchen stove. Or rather, what's missing from it? People have simply stopped making soups. It sounds trivial, but from a biochemical standpoint, it's a disaster. We've traded nutrient-rich, extractive broths for sandwiches, dry snacks, and endless cups of tea with cookies. We assume a glass of plain water can replace a bowl of broth. That's a serious misconception. Water is just a solvent. A properly made soup, on the other hand, is an electrolyte solution that the body reads more like blood plasma than plain H2O. When you stop consuming warm, liquid meals, the body switches into emergency water conservation mode. Kidneys constrict vessels to maintain pressure. Hello, hypertension. The liver struggles to filter toxins because bile thickens. Before long, you're reaching for blood pressure pills, cholesterol meds, and joint pain remedies, never realizing your body is simply begging for the right kind of fluid. There are 5 specific soups that outperform many supplements. These aren't ordinary dishes, they're functional solutions. One clears calcium deposits from arteries, another literally rebuilds cartilage, a third sharpens your mind like you're 30 again, the fourth restarts a sluggish gut, and the fifth is a powerful internal anti-aging antioxidant cocktail. I'll share the exact recipes and explain exactly how each one works. You'll learn about the soup that old-school surgeons nicknamed liquid plaster because of how well it helps bones knit. And you'll discover the one ingredient you must never add to broth after age 50 if you want to avoid blood pressure spikes. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. Roughly 70% of people watch content like this without subscribing. We put real effort into sharing practical, evidence-based health information. Subscribing helps us keep going and ensures you never miss new recommendations. Thank you for caring about your health. Do you still eat soup regularly? Drop a comment with your favorite kind. I'll analyze its benefits in a future video. Now let's get practical. We start with the most vulnerable system after 50, heart and blood vessels. Patients usually show up complaining of shortness of breath, chest tightness, and pressure surges. They expect statins or beta blockers. I always ask first, what do you eat for lunch? If the answer contains no hot liquid dish, we begin treatment with soup, but not just any soup. A rich, fatty pork broth can actually worsen things here by driving up cholesterol. The heart needs a different profile: potassium, magnesium, and folate in highly bioavailable form. Number 1 on the list, the red vascular protector, a lentil tomato soup featuring an often overlooked ingredient, celeriac root. Why does this exact combination improve EKGs and blood work? Let's look at the chemistry. The real enemy of your arteries isn't cholesterol itself, it's homocysteine. This amino acid forms during protein metabolism. Excess homocysteine literally scratches the endothelium, inner vessel lining. Cholesterol then sticks to those scratches in an attempt to patch them, creating plaque. To lower homocysteine, you need plenty of folate and vitamin B6. Lentils are an absolute champion here. One thick bowl delivers nearly 90% of your daily folate requirement. It acts almost like a natural solvent for homocysteine. But that's only half the story. For vessels to stay flexible and respond to temperature or stress changes, they need lycopene. Thermally processed tomatoes are the best source. Raw tomatoes contain very little usable lycopene. Cooking releases it. That's why tomato paste or stewed tomatoes in soup are far more heart protective than a fresh salad. How to prepare it correctly? Use red lentils. They cook quickly without soaking, preserving nutrients. Rinse, cover with water, Simmer 10 minutes. Separately sauté onion, carrot, and, crucially, celeriac root. The celeriac supplies natural organic sodium, so you barely need to add table salt. Too much sodium is dangerous for anyone with hypertension. Celeriac gives a savory taste safely. When the vegetables soften, add chopped tomatoes and stew another 5 minutes to maximize lycopene release. Combine with the lentils. Final secret. Right after turning off the heat, stir in 1 crushed garlic clove and a tablespoon of good extra virgin olive oil. Do not fry the garlic or oil. Garlic provides allicin, which reduces blood viscosity and clot risk. The olive oil dramatically improves absorption of carotenoids from carrots and tomatoes. Without fat, they mostly pass through unabsorbed. I watched a 62-year-old man with exertional angina go from stopping every 200 meters to doubling his walking distance in 6 weeks after we replaced his usual sausage sandwiches with this soup 4 times a week. His LDL dropped 15%. Not magic, biochemistry. His vessels finally received repair materials. Try eating this soup at least 3 times a week. You'll notice cold hands and feet warming up first. That means small capillaries are opening. Evening leg heaviness fades, and weather-related pressure swings calm down. If the heart is the pump, then bones and joints are the framework. Here we need a completely different approach. While the previous soup relied on plant foods, joint repair demands something many modern people have removed from their diet, considering it poor people's food. Big mistake. We're talking about the soup that literally glues your body back together. It takes time to prepare, but the payoff is worth it. Most people know jellied meat, aspic, but eating it daily is too heavy on the pancreas and liver. We need a lighter yet more concentrated version. I call it bone elixir. After 50, the main joint problem is collagen loss and drying synovial fluid. Cartilage turns into a stiff, crumbly, dry sponge. Oral glucosamine and chondroitin often fail because stomach acid production drops with age, so tablets don't break down properly. Liquid bone broth prepared correctly is absorbed at nearly 98%. It enters the bloodstream almost immediately. Here's the liquid plaster recipe. Pay close attention, technique matters. Use beef bones, but not bare marrow bones. Choose joint-rich parts, knuckles, oxtail, anything with cartilage, tendons, and connective tissue. That's where the collagen lives. Place bones in a pot, cover with cold water, and immediately add the key secret: 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. The acid pulls calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and other minerals out of the hard matrix into the liquid. No acid equals minerals stay in the bones and get thrown away. Bring to a gentle boil, skim foam, then reduce to the lowest simmer possible. The surface should barely tremble, not bubble. Beef bones need 8 to 12 hours. Chicken feet or frames need about 6. 1 hour before finishing, add the classic trio: carrot, onion. You can leave the skin on for extra quercetin, and celery. Carrot supplies vitamin A for tissue synthesis. Onion quercetin powerfully reduces joint inflammation. When finished and cooled, top-quality broth turns into firm jelly. That's the sign the gelatin and collagen successfully dissolved. I tell patients to portion it into containers and freeze. Daily therapeutic dose, 200 milliliters. Sip it plain and hot, or use as stock for grain soups. What happens inside? The broth is rich in proline and glycine. Glycine calms nerves and repairs damaged tissue. Proline is a primary building block of collagen. You're supplying preformed bricks. One patient with severe grade 3 knee osteoarthritis could barely descend stairs. After 2 months of daily bone broth, her morning stiffness dropped from 60 minutes to 10. The cartilage didn't magically regrow, but inflammation subsided, lubrication returned, and she could finally start therapeutic exercises that were previously impossible due to pain. Now that the frame and pump are supported, let's address the control center, the brain. Cognitive decline is terrifying because it happens silently. You start forgetting words, losing the thread of conversations, struggling with new technology. The main driver? Neuronal starvation. The brain is 60% fat. If you follow low-fat diets or rely only on cheap vegetable oils, it literally dries out. It desperately needs omega-3 fatty acids to rebuild nerve cell membranes. Number 3. The clarity soup. The only dish that delivers omega-3s to the brain without oxidizing them. Base. Any fatty red fish, salmon, trout, pink salmon, chum, even heads and backbones contain plenty of fat. Critical rule: omega-3s are fragile. Long boiling or high heat turns them from medicine into harmful oxidized compounds. Correct method: first cook the vegetable base, broccoli, cauliflower, and spinach. Green vegetables supply vitamin K and folate, which synergize with omega-3s to speed nerve impulses. Simmer vegetables until half done, then add fish pieces. Cook just 5 to 7 minutes and turn off the heat. The fish finishes gently in the hot broth, preserving delicate fats. Final touch: sprinkle crushed walnuts on top when serving. They add plant-based omega-3, YLA, plus vitamin E that shields neurons from oxidation. Results can be dramatic. A 64-year-old retired engineer complained of constant brain fog and mental fatigue. We added this fish soup 3 evenings a week. Evening is ideal. Fish digests lighter than meat, and magnesium from greens improves sleep quality when the brain clears toxins. After 3 weeks, he arrived carrying a crossword puzzle, saying, "Doc, I'm solving them again like I used to. My head feels light." We simply gave the nervous tissue its proper building blocks. No matter how expensive your fish or bone broth, if digestion is impaired, most nutrients end up wasted. After 50, enzyme production drops, stomach acid decreases, and the gut becomes sluggish, causing bloating, heaviness, constipation. The 4th soup is the master key that unlocks everything else. I call it the gastroenterologist in a bowl. It restarts peristalsis and heals mucous membranes better than most probiotics or laxatives. The star ingredient is an underestimated seasonal vegetable many people only use for porridge. The golden recipe for lazy gut and chronic abdominal heaviness: pumpkin cream soup. Why pumpkin? It contains a rare gentle fiber, pectin. Unlike rough bran or cabbage fiber that can irritate an already inflamed intestine, pectin acts like a soft sponge. It absorbs toxins, excess cholesterol, and metabolic waste, then escorts them out gently. But pumpkin alone won't powerfully stimulate motility. It needs a driver: fresh ginger, a piece about the size of your thumb. Ginger is a mild thermogenic. It gently raises stomach temperature, increases blood flow to the walls, and boosts enzyme secretion exactly where age-related decline hits hardest. 3rd key component: for thickness, most people add potato. Forget that. Potato starch causes sharp blood sugar spikes and crashes, leading to drowsiness. Instead, use 2 to 3 tablespoons old-fashioned rolled oats, long-cook variety. During cooking, oats release beta-glucan, which turns into a soothing, mucus-like gel. That gel coats the stomach and intestines, healing microerosions and gastritis like an internal bandage. Preparation is simple. Cube 300 to 400 g pumpkin, barely cover with water, simmer 15 minutes until soft. Add oats 5 minutes before end. Stir in grated ginger at the very last moment. Turn off heat and blend into a silky cream. Eat a bowl for dinner 7 nights in a row. Bloating disappears, waistbands loosen, not from fat loss, but from reduced internal gut swelling. Stools become clockwork regular, and post-meal lightness returns, something many haven't felt in years. One 72-year-old woman who took digestive enzymes after every meal stopped needing them completely after 10 days of pumpkin dinners. Her own stomach woke up. Now for appearance. The 5th soup works like an internal cosmetologist. First, the promised warning: never use store-bought bouillon cubes or universal seasoning mixes after 50. They contain massive hidden sodium plus MSG. Young kidneys can handle it. Aging kidneys cannot. That chemical load retains up to 2 liters of fluid. Instant pressure spikes, puffy eyes, swollen ankles. Only natural spices. The youth soup fights oxidative stress, the fundamental rusting process of aging cells. Its 4 power ingredients: green beans, broccoli, white beans, and turmeric. Greens supply chlorophyll to oxygenate blood. White beans provide clean plant protein and zinc, essential for firm skin and shiny hair. Animal protein becomes harder to process and more toxic with age. Turmeric is queen. It measurably lowers chronic age-related inflammation. But curcumin absorbs poorly alone. It needs 2 helpers: piperine, black pepper, and fat. Method: simmer green bean and broccoli stock. Add pre-cooked, well-rinsed white beans. 2 minutes before finishing, stir in 1 teaspoon turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon olive oil. The soup turns a gorgeous golden color. After 2 to 3 weeks of regular lunches, patients report fresher facial skin, brighter eyes, and a rested look, like they just returned from vacation. Liver unloads, blood detoxifies. Finally, the most important silent complaint after 50: loss of joy, evening anxiety, poor sleep, unexplained sadness. That's not character. It's biochemistry. Depleted nervous system plus tryptophan shortage, low serotonin. The balancing soup treats the soul through the body. Secret ingredient: pearl barley, the same humble grain many dismiss as canteen food. Pearl barley is polished barley, extremely rich in B vitamins, especially B3 and B6, that strengthen nerve fibers and stabilize impulse transmission. B vitamin deficiency causes irritability, tearfulness, insomnia. Pair it with mushrooms, champignons, or oyster. They supply ergothioneine, a powerful brain cell protector. Recipe: soak barley at least 4 hours, preferably overnight, to destroy phytic acid and speed cooking. Cook in vegetable stock. Separately sauté onion, carrot, and sliced mushrooms. Combine and simmer until thick and slightly viscous, beta-glucan effect. Add bay leaf and dried thyme for calming essential oils. A 70-year-old former teacher woke at 4 a.m. with racing thoughts. After 10 days of this mushroom barley soup for dinner, no late tea and sweets, he slept through to 7 a.m. for the first time in a year. It's quiet inside, he said. Practical weekly plan so you don't live in the kitchen. Make a huge pot of bone broth every 2 weeks, freeze in portions. Add 200 milliliters daily to anything, breakfast porridge, etc. Join insurance. Lunch: cook 1 big pot of lentil soup, 3 to 4 days worth, or green detox soup. Dinner: quick fish soup, 15 minutes, or pumpkin cream. Make for 2 to 3 days. Save barley mushroom for relaxed weekends. Rotate weekly. Your body receives the full spectrum: omega-3 for brain, potassium for heart, collagen for joints, gentle fiber for gut. Soup isn't emergency medicine, but it can prevent you ever needing it. It can free you from handfuls of daily pills. Give your cells proper building materials, and they'll reward you with steadier heartbeat, smoother knees, clearer thinking, and deeper rest. Start tomorrow, not next Monday, not New Year's. Cook the one recipe that spoke to you most. Eat slowly. Listen to your body. It will answer with lightness, energy, and calm. Which soup will you try first? Right below. I'm genuinely curious which one feels most urgent for you right now. Stay well. Your youth really does live in your bowl.